your next project, you're going to have to go back and open up your floor plan file. If you don't have that file for some reason, your SketchUp file, not just the picture of it, then let me know and I will give you this copy so that you can work with that. What you're going to need to do is we're going to be working on putting on deck on the front of the house, between the garage and the front, on the wall near the living room and kitchen. And we're going to start by zooming in on the grassy area, and you're going to need to turn on your tool palette large tool set. So go to View, Tool Sets, Tool Palettes, Large Tool Set, turn it on, and I'm going to drag this over to the side so that it's not in my way. You're going to need the tape measure tool, so we're going to mark out some guidelines first. So I'm going to click on the tape measure tool, and I'm going to try to find, as I move around, I'm going to try to find the midpoint, there it is, where the grass meets the front of the house. So I'm going to click on that midpoint and head straight up the wall. Be careful that you're not heading in a different direction, like out, because that will make things different. So you should get a blue line. If you're not getting a blue line, you might have to orbit around a little differently. So we need this line to be 3 feet up. So I'm just going to type 3 and then the apostrophe for feet and hit enter. I'm going to do the same thing on the garage wall. I'm going to find the midpoint on this little tiny wall over here. I'm going to click there and I'll start heading up. And I'm going to type 3 feet, enter. Also make sure you get a blue line when you're headed up there. Good. Now I need another one that is 3'1" from both of those midpoints. So I'm going to click on the midpoint over here again, 3'1", enter. Same thing over here, midpoint, click, 3'1", enter. All right. So what that gives me is a 1-inch stripe over here. I'm going to take my rectangle tool and I'm going to start in this top corner. I'm going to zoom in. I want this intersection right here. I'm going to click here and I'll do the garage wall first. There's a lot of zooming in and out on this project, so get used to zooming in and out. A tip for that is that, remember, you're going to, when you scroll, it always zooms in on wherever your mouse is on the screen. So make sure you move your mouse to where you'd like to zoom in first. Okay, I'm looking for this intersection, the little X mark. I'm going to click there. Okay, so I have a nice solid stripe there. Do the same thing here. Click on the top intersection mark there, move my mouse to where I want, zoom in, whoops, a little too far, sorry, and find this intersection here. All right, I now need, on this stripe, I'm going to color this stripe first. So I'm going to grab my crayon box under my paint bucket tools. You might have to click on your crayons. Mine is a slightly newer version, so it has colored pencils, but it's the same idea. Just grab any black color is fine, and I'm going to color those stripes black. So you have a 1-inch stripe going around there. Now, if you were building a real deck, you can't put the deck even with the door at the same height as the door, because if water and snow and that kind of stuff gets on your deck, then it will be draining into your door. So that's what this 1-inch stripe is supposed to show. So I'm going to now put another rectangle underneath here. So I'm going to zoom way in on the corner, and I'm going to make sure I'm grabbing the bottom of the stripe here where those all meet. Okay, click on that endpoint. And this time I know the dimensions, so I'm going to do it that way. So I think I've figured out, it's a little tricky sometimes, but I think I've figured out when you're making a big shape like this, you want to put in the longest number first and then the smaller number after. So this happens to be on this wall 36 feet. So I'm going to do 36 apostrophe, comma, I need this to be a 2-inch stripe, so I'm going to do 2, enter. And then I get a 36-foot long 2-inch rectangle. Okay, excellent. That should make it to the end of the thing. Now you might have to move your orbit around to do the other side. This is a 6-foot wall, so I'm going to do 6 feet, comma 2. Okay, also making sure that you started on the bottom of the black stripe. Great. So now I'm going to color these two differently. Let's pick green for this color here, okay, or teal. And I'm going to pick, let's go with like carnation. You can choose whatever colors you want. The reason I'm coloring them is partially so that you can tell which stripe I'm on. So if you think you're going to get easily confused with my directions, you might want to use similar colors to what I've got. So like a bluish color here, pinkish color there. All right, so now I need to have another rectangle, and I'm going to put in what are the joists. So the joists are boards that you would put on end so that you can put your decking boards on top. So where the pink and blue stripes are, that's going to be covered by decking boards in a bit, but we need to put the structure underneath that would hold it up. So I'm going to click here, and where the pink and the blue come together, and come down more, so that it's kind of longer this way. So I'm going to put in 6, 2. It's a 2x6 board, just like that. So then I'm going to, I learned a trick here. When I used to teach this video, I would pull this out and then we'd color it. So we'd do something like this, but then it gives you all these surfaces to color. So I'm going to put it back. Before I pull it, I'm going to color it. I'm going to color it orange. Okay, and now when I pull it, click it, it's already orange. I don't have to get all over the place. Now I know this is 6 feet, so I could just type in 6 apostrophe, or I can come out here and get this blue diamond on the face of the garage, and it will make it exactly 6 feet, which is even with the garage. Okay, now I need to make this a group and make it a component. I'm just checking to make sure. Yep, everything is orange there. Okay, so to make it a group, I'm going to click on the select tool. I'm going to click on the face. Now don't get confused and click on an edge. If you click on an edge, you'll get a blue line. This doesn't work on an edge. So you're going to click on the face, and you're going to right click or control click if you don't have a mouse. Control click on that surface and go to select all with same material. This is very similar to, this is a way to make groups based on color. Okay, you did groups before based on connected surfaces on the chair. All right, so you can see that there's like a dashed line around all of these, so that's dotted lines, so you can actually see that we selected it. So I'm going to control click a second time and go to make group. Okay, that should bound it all together, and I'm going to control click one more time and do make component. Okay, so now if I click on it once, you should see it all blue like this. I'm going to grab my move tool up here on the toolbar, and I'm going to zoom way in and make sure I'm grabbing it by the top back right hand corner, this one right here where the pink and the orange meet. Okay, I'm going to start moving it this way. I actually want a copy, so I'm going to tap on the option key, and then I want to make sure that I'm even. I don't want to be going in a diagonal direction or up. Okay, so there's a little red dotted line there. If yours doesn't seem to want to snap onto that, you can always tap on your right arrow key. So I'm not going to click a second time. I'm going to tell it how far apart I want these. So I actually want these 13 inches apart. So I'm going to do 13, enter, and then I want to make multiple copies of these things at the same spacing. So before you do anything else, I happen to have counted it out that there need to be 33 of these. So I'm going to type in 33x. Enter. And so what that does is, if you zoom out, move your screen around, you will see they actually come pretty close to the edge like that. Okay, and I have 33 of them, exactly 13 inches apart. Okay, so you may have noticed if I rotate this way that I'm missing a side. Okay, so we're going to take care of that because I made these a component. You made them a component hopefully also. I'm going to click on my select tool, and I'm going to double click on one of these. Okay, so I'm going to use my pencil tool, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the one that is inside this dotted lined box. Okay, it won't make any sense to do it over on one of the other ones. I'm going to zoom way in, and I'm going to just draw a line from this top of the board straight down to this corner here, and it will close up. It's called healing the surface in SketchUp. And then I'm going to color that there orange just to make it match. You can choose if you want to at any point in here to color these wood instead, and that's fine, but I'm just leaving them these colors so I can say on top of the orange ones or whatever and make it a little easier to follow. So now I'm going to orbit around this way, and you can see we're still in this it's called edit component mode with this dashed line around it. We need to get rid of that. So we're going to click once on the black arrow and then click somewhere off to the side. Okay, and we get our full screen back the way it was. I don't need this line anymore. We used those guidelines just to measure out those stripes, so I'm going to delete them with my eraser tool. Okay, excellent. So now, and you can see that it filled in all of those boards because we made them components. Okay, now I'm going to come back here. Now this is a little tricky to see because we're going to have to tilt up underneath the joists we just made. Okay, these joists can't just be nailed straight into the wall because that's not very structurally sound. So what we need is a ledger board. Okay, a ledger board is a big thick board that we would put underneath these joists going the opposite direction. So I'm going to look at the garage wall from underneath the joists, and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, and I'm going to go right here where the orange joist meets the wall, the garage wall. I'm going to click there, head more down than I am to the left, and I'm going to type in 8, 2. It's going to be a 2x8 board. Okay, I'm going to click on that surface, and I'm going to pull it this way. Instead of zooming out and trying to match it, I know this is 36 feet wide, so I'm going to type in 36 apostrophe, enter. Okay, and that should bring us, if I look carefully, yep, should bring us right to the end. Okay, now I'm not going to bother coloring this board or anything. It's going to be mostly hidden. Also, we don't need multiple copies. We just need that one. So now I'm going to tilt and come up to the top of this corner here. All right, so now we're going to work with this pink stripe. Okay, the pink stripe is going to form our deck boards, planks on top of the deck that we would walk on top of. So I'm just going to pull just the pink. I'm going to click on it and pull it towards us, and I'm going to type in 6, enter. I want it 6 inches. Now, before we get too crazy, I'm going to go out to the end. Whoa, this can happen. If you get in a screen like this where you're not sure, you're actually backing up through different objects, okay, there's a magnifying glass up here that has arrows coming out diagonally. It's called Zoom Extents. It will zoom you out of your entire project so you can see a little better. Okay, great. Now, the reason I wanted to come out here is, as you can see, I pulled that board. I probably should have pushed the control button to get an extra copy, or the option, but I'm going to just use the pencil tool. In fact, I should try that and just see. Let me go back using my Command Z. I'm going to use push-pull. I'm going to click the option key, and then I'm going to come out 6, enter. That would have done it also. Okay, so you can either draw the pencil if you already did it the other way, that's fine, or you can use the option key. So we need to make this into a group and a component and select it all. So I'm going to select one of the surfaces, not an edge. I'm going to control click or right click, do select all with same material. This is kind of the 3-click trick because you kind of have to do it 3 times to really make it worth your while. So I'm going to control click again, go to make group. I'm going to control click one last time and make component. Okay, so now I have, if I click on it, I have a solid component that we're going to make copies of. Okay, and for this I'm going to go back to our corner over here because it's kind of easier to see what we're doing along this teal edge. Alright, so now I'm going to use the move tool. I'm going to select the corner of this pink board right here, and I'm going to start moving down this way. I'm going to need to tap my option key so I get a copy. Okay, do you see the green dashed line that's showing up? That means we're all lined up. Don't go up here or anything because you'll actually make stairs sort of instead of a deck. All right, and I'm going to space these out. So if you put deck boards right beside each other, right up against each other, there's no place for the water or snow or ice to drain through. So these boards are 6 inches wide. So I'm going to type in a spacing of 6 1/8. And here's how you do that. You type in 6, and these are inches, so we don't have to label them. Then I'm going to put a space. You can't see that, but and then 1/8. So down here, you can see that it says, whoops, you could have seen, except for I moved 6 space 1/8 in the bottom corner of my screen. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so it left a little gap. Before I do anything else, I'm going to do 22x. I think that's the amount that I need, and hit enter. Okay, let me see how I did. Well, 22x was way too many. Okay, I just wanted to see if that was it. It's probably 13x. Now you can, at this point, you could Command Z, or you could just erase the extra ones. So let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11. So okay, so I made 11 too many, so it could be 11x next time. All right, so we want something like that, a little bit of overlap, okay, on your deck boards. That's fine, just like that. Okay, so looks good on all the sides. We're just checking over here. Got nice gaps in between the boards. If we look in here, okay, it's a little hard to see in there so close, but they are there. Okay, all right. Now, this cannot stand like this because there's nothing in the front to keep them from collapsing. Okay, so we are going to take care of that next. So I'm going to spin myself so that I'm orbiting, so that I'm underneath the deck, and you need to tilt up so you can see the bottom of these orange joists. Okay, now I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, start right on the edge of the orange joist, and head down like this. And we're going to do a 4, 4x4 beam that's going to go in here. Okay, I'm going to color that beam first with my paint bucket before I get to the other side. Let's go with asparagus. Asparagus is good for you. So I'm going to click on the push-pull tool. I'm going to click it, start moving. Well, that's odd. Didn't seem to want to change the color. I'm going to tap the Option key to get a copy. There we go. That made it change the color. Copy of the face. So I'm going to head this way, and I'm going to type in 36 feet, which is 36 apostrophe, enter. Okay, and now I have the beam that goes all the way to here. Edge of the beam comes out there. Looks great. Okay. Whoa, sorry for that zooming. Don't mean to make you motion sick. All right. Now, I need something to hold these beams up. This beam up. So I'm going to rearrange my screen a little bit here so that I can see down here on the grass. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool. I'm going to start against the garage here on the corner. I'm going to click and head and make sure that I'm flat here. I don't want to come up this way. Okay, I want to type in 4, 4, enter. So I get a 4x4, and then I'm going to push-pull it. I'm going to grab just that bit and pull it straight up until it gets underneath here. Actually, before I do that, I think I'll color it first, since I said that was a helpful trick. What color should we do this one? Yellow. Let's do lemon or something. Okay, you can do whatever you like, but just make sure it's a unique color. If you're ever trying to make components and you grab the same color as something else, you'll see that it doesn't work very well because it grabs anything that's yellow in your house. So, all right, so all the sides of this one are lemon yellow. Okay, so now we're going to, you guessed it, select with the black arrow, click on a face, right click or control click and do select, all with same material. Control click, make group, control click, make component. Okay, so now we have our group and our component. We're going to move copies of this, so I'm going to grab the top right hand corner of this. Now I'm going to do this a little differently than I did before. I'm going to click on the corner. I'm going to zoom out, okay, zoom way out, and then I'm going to tap my Option key so I can make a copy. So I should see the original, okay, should see the original there and my copy coming this way. And I want to zoom in on this edge of the asparagus color board. And you see that since I grabbed it from the top right hand corner, if you did the same thing, it's really easy to snap it into there. Okay, if you grabbed it somewhere else, you might have to tap on your right arrow just to get this lined up nicely. Okay, I'm going to click to place it, and then I'm going to type in 12/enter. That will make 12 evenly spaced copies. And as you can see, we have one piece missing. I'm going to take care of that by going to the black arrow, double clicking on the component, okay, the yellow, and I'm going to click my pencil tool and I'm going to close that gap right here, just like that. And that didn't do what I thought it was going to do, so we'll go do it up on the top as well. That's why it's not closed on the top also. So just make sure you've got them nice and straight. It's easy to get kind of diagonal lines by mistake. Okay, and I'm just going to make these all lemony and wonderful. I'm going to click my select arrow, click somewhere in the sky just to get off of that. So you now have, if I zoom out, you now have a wonderful deck. Okay, and take a nice picture of it so that you can put it in your Google Doc to pass into me. And you can, if you want to, you can change the colors, like I said, to wood grain. You know, the blocks are here. There's some nice wood textures in here instead. In order to change those, just a hint, you're gonna have to double click on a component first if you've made it a component, and then you'll be able to paint them, and it will paint them all, okay, because it's components. Okay, so that's a quick trick. For the for this project, it's kind of a lot of work, but I want you to get practicing it. I would like for you to figure out how to put stairs coming over here, okay, by making exact copies. I'll give you a hint. You're going to actually create stairs using these components that you stack up in a particular way. There are more ways to make stairs, but if you want all your steps nice and even, you could do that. We happen to make copies in a straight line. Your stairs obviously won't be a straight line because stairs have to go up or down. So I'll let you try to figure that out and add some stairs just to the side over here. But don't come out too far over here, because in the next lesson we're going to add deck railings starting at this corner and going to the left. So please don't come off the front of the deck, come off the side of your deck with your stairs. All right, and we will see you in the deck railings video.